Harvey, your first meeting is with Carla Berman. Get there an hour early so you have time to look around and gather questions for your meeting. Follow any leads you can for the Miller report. Good luck and don't trust anyone.
Well, I don't see anyone else here, so you must be talking to me. Damn it, Jim. I'm a doctor, not a security guard. All the gin joints and all the towns. You had to make my day, punk. What's that, Skippy? There's a boy stuck in the mines?
Luke, I am your father.
No! It's not true! It's impossible! How do I compare thee? How do I compare thee? Which one of you is Brian? I'm Brian. No, I'm Brian. I'm Brian, and so's my wife. No, I'm Brian. I love that movie. Hello, Clarice. I'll eat your liver with some candy and a nice fava bean. Do you have warts? Does your friend have warts? Does anyone you know have warts? If so, you need nuclear warthead cream. For when the conventional brand just won't do. Logo Beers. It's a wart zone out there. You talking to me? Huh? You talking to me? Quite frankly, Chance, I don't give a damn. Oh, jeez. Mr. Miller, is it? We weren't expecting you for another 20 minutes. Not a problem at all. Welcome to Bowman Carson. My name's Steve Crow. Apologies for the protesting outside. I hope it wasn't too hard to get through them. If you don't mind, can you place your briefcase down on the conveyor belt there so I can check it for you? Okay, great. I just need to check through it. Sorry about this. Second. Right, this all seems to be in order. Here's your ID badge. If you could just follow me to the security desk. Great.
Doesn't that painting just freak you out? Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Ah, Mr. Miller. We didn't expect you so early. Let me just print your agenda. Give me a second. Your first is... speak of the devil. Carla, this is Mr. Miller from the Turing Post. You have a meeting today, I believe.
Yes, of course. A pleasure to meet you, Mr. Miller. Is it that time already?
No. Mr. Miller is just fashionably early.
Good. For a moment I thought I was running behind. I'll be ready in my office for our meeting as scheduled. I have to run, I'm afraid, but we'll speak soon. Thank you, Dan.
Righty-o, Carla. Right, here's your agenda.
Great. Why don't you read that over and put it in your briefcase for safekeeping?
I suppose that's everything from me. If you need anything further, you know where I am.
Miller, don't forget about that meeting with Carla. You can find something to do in the meantime.
Fine. What are you up to anyway? Got a busy day?
Yeah, you could say that. Oh, hey, Dan's been going on about some email about your password or something.
Oh, not this again.
What's going on?
Oh, it's stupid.
Really? I don't know what it's about. Just that it's a security risk or something?
Only if you're flipping psychic. Honestly, it's getting to be a joke.
Why? What's going on?
It's basically, my password is written on one of the items on my desk. Nobody would know that, though. If everyone would just stop talking about it.
Oh, I see. What's the password?
I'm not telling you, dummy.
Hey!
Anyway, what are you up to tonight? Are you coming to the pub with us?
Maybe. I can't really afford it till payday, so...
Oh, come on. I'll sort you out.
Sort me out? Like, beat me up?
No, like, buy you a pint. You're gonna need to pick up the lingo if you're gonna last around here, Stephen.
Yeah, right. Okay. I might see you there.
No worries.
Hello, Mr. Miller.
Oh, I'm glad I gave that up.
Man, I need to try and keep this job this time.
I hope you're all right, Mr. Miller. Hi, Mr. Miller. Oh, I'm sweating buckets, me.
These pigeons of yours. Oh, I'm sorry. Did they get in there? Oh, no. Not Marlon. Don't you worry. It's just just I ordered this big bag of sunflower seeds, and I don't have a use for them. They sent me the wrong type. Well, I was wondering if you wanted them. I don't know if I... No. Okay. Absolutely.
Doors closing. Doors opening. Doors closing.
You know what? I reckon I'm gonna play that a lot today. Not just today, probably for the rest of the week. I just thought we need some new tunes to play. Next up, we've got Rust.
Everything dated the 10th of the 4th, 1987, the day of the attack, has been boxed and archived and still needs reviewing. The phone records were particularly interesting to me. I've looked through about 20% of all the files I've collated as of yet, and I'm not sure exactly how much more I'm going to find. I'm certain I'm onto something big, but I fear it's going to take me a lot longer than I have to find what I need.
Is anyone here? Not sure if it's anything yet, but I'm just checking something out. If I find anyone in here, there's gonna be trouble. Is someone in here? Why does he never listen to me? I keep telling him to stay out of these areas.
Thank you for tuning in. I'm Richard Porter. Later on today, I'll be taking to the skies to get the bigger picture of what's happening over Turing City and give you the latest news regarding the Bowman Carson Group and the controversial Union Act. This is BBC News. Stay tuned. Now back to Summerfield Town.
No floppy disks detected. No floppy disks detected.
Hello?
No floppy disks detected. No floppy disks.
I'm not ready for our meeting yet, Mr. Miller. Can you come back later?
Please insert token.
Oh, jeez, you scared the... Listen, Mr. Miller, I know this probably has nothing to do with you, but there was an alarm that went off earlier on, so if you could just make sure to stay in the allocated areas, that would be great. What you need? Mr. Miller, don't forget your meeting with Carla. Just find something to do in the meantime.
rest.
I'm leaving my desk for 15 minutes now.
Steve, there's been an alarm set off. Can you go check it out?
Man, not again. I hate this new system. Never mind. Why the hell is that alarm going off?
about are the events leading up to the night of the attack. Now, I have to ask. You said that your husband and Charles Bowman drafted the act. How was Michael involved in this? Take your time.
As far as I knew, Michael was the one dealing with interviewing the immigrants. He usually did most of that, but apparently the workload was getting bigger, so I guess Bowman stepped in to help.
How is it that you didn't know about it? Didn't your own husband tell you about it?
It's not exactly big news, at the time anyway. People don't discuss every little detail in their day, do they?
Are you saying the police reports are wrong?
I'm saying that security in that place is tight. It wouldn't be easy for someone to be in there undetected.
Mrs. Carson, if you have some information that might aid in this investigation, then you need to tell me now. Otherwise, I'm well within my rights to have you arrested for withholding.
I'm saying the facility is precious about its information protection. Every call or movement, every interview or meeting are recorded for security purposes. The information we both want is in there somewhere. We just need to find the taped evidence.
Okay. Where do you suggest I look? Everything dated the 10th of the 4th, 1987.
Please insert token.
Harvey, I've been going through more of Alex's interview tapes. I found something quite alarming that seems to have been very quickly dismissed. He says his keycard was stolen earlier on the day of the explosion. He said he tried to log it with Carla Berman. I'm not sure how frequently she leaves her office, but if you can somehow gain access, you may be able to find evidence linking her to Alex's keycard.
Hello. You've reached the Lost Property Office. There's nobody available to take your call at the moment. For any inquiries, visit Gemma Hughes in room 103 on floor 1. Alternatively, if you know which locker your possessions are in, please bring the relevant access card. Thank you.
Hi, Mr. Miller.
I'm not ready for our meeting yet, Mr. Miller. You can come back later.
All right, Carla.
You're all right, love.
Mr. Miller, your meeting is in 10 minutes. Don't be late.
Looking sharp, Mr. Miller.
This wee number is a brand new one in the charts.
You all right?
Code accepted. Access granted.
Please insert token.
Harvey, I just received an anonymous fax. Do you know where the Turing meeting room is? It seems as though Alex Dubois may have hidden some information in there which proves the Bowman Carson Group are intentionally inflating figures based around the Union Act. If you're able to find the evidence, it may help inform the public about what the truth is here. I'm sure Carla Berman may have a thing or two to say about those figures, since she's the one spreading them in her print media. Anyway, let me know what you find.
Listen, Mr. Miller, I know this probably has nothing to do with you, but there was an alarm that went off earlier on, so if you could just make sure to stay in the allocated areas, that would be great.
Mr. Miller, quick reminder. You have a meeting in 5 minutes.
Hi.
Floppy disk detected. Attention, floppy disk corrupted. Use Data Doctor to amend corrupted disks.
A number of people could have that information. It wasn't my department, though, I'm afraid. You could try Leonard, Chapman, or perhaps Alex Dubois.
So, couldn't he erase that information, assuming that it was erased?
Perhaps. Not without someone knowing about it. Michael knew something on the line. Somehow he knew the company worked when he and Charles were together. Things got busier there. Signs started to show.
What makes you say that?
About 2 years ago, Michael and I were writing our wills together so that our kids would be safe. First happened. Michael decided he wanted to hand over his shares to me. I've never told anyone this. Bowman thinks that he's going to get the controlling share over the company. Obviously he's not.
That is very serious, Skylar. Are you suggesting that Bowman could have caused this to happen to gain control over the company?
Every ounce of me. I hope not.
But you can't be sure.
I said I have no proof at all.
Well, proof is where I come in. I think I have everything I need for now. Thank you for the time. Information comes to light.
Do you have the authority to search that?
We already have, Mrs. Carson.
So you have evidence?
Leave it with me. We'll be in touch if we need anything else.
Floppy disk detected. Attention, floppy disk corrupted. Use Data Doctor to amend corrupted disks.
You alright, Mr. Miller? Hey, you alright? How you doing?
Hello, Mr. Miller. Please, come in and take a seat.
Mr. Miller, don't forget you have a meeting soon.
Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor.
So I gather you've got some
Security guard.
questions you'd like to ask me.
Damn it, Jim, I'm a doctor.
I'll do my
Security
best to
guard.
answer them.
Of all the gin joints in all the towns, you had to make my day, punk. Well, I don't see anyone else here.
Shall
so
we begin?
You must be talking to me. Well, I don't see anyone else here, so you must be talking to me. Of all the gin joints in all the towns, you had to make my day, punk. How
He says he
do I
wasn't in the
compare
building.
the... How
I don't know how he'd be able to back up that claim. The police found him not too far away from here, that's true, but it was within walking distance. He could have easily got where he did in time, and there's a whole bunch of other evidence. I'm sorry, I just don't see how he thinks that's going to hold any weight. Like who? No, I don't think so. I think it's quite cut and dry. I can't imagine someone else over in the Meta Centre doing it. They like to sound like they know what they're doing, but most of them are incompetent. I know for a fact that some of them use their room number for their alarm code, for God's sake. Does that sound convincing to you? Alex was the only one who really knew what he was doing, and anyway, it's like I said, there was more evidence, wasn't there? Well, for example, the argument we had the night of the attack. Alex and I were having a heated discussion that night. I know that's somewhat anecdotal, but to me it's as good as gold in terms of evidence. Wouldn't you agree? That must be a mistake, surely. I was sure... Maybe now that I think about it... I mean, that could have been earlier, perhaps. So, he was calling from outside the facility? It's hard to remember that night clearly now, but there it is. Does it really? I mean, it just shows that he could have just... I don't know. Well, I don't know where you got those phone records, Mr. Miller, but I'm not sure how they can help. I don't think I have anything else to add on that point. Nothing comes to mind. Excuse me, what? I didn't say anything about an alarm code. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I must have misspoken. Everyone in the Meta Centre is very careful with their security. I wouldn't... well, let's not dwell on that. No, it was another office. Can we please move on to a different subject, Mr. Miller? Don't you have something about my work that you'd like to ask at all? He thinks I'm lying. That's not really news, Mr. Miller. I think anyone in the country could have told you what Alex thinks about what we do here. He has a twisted view of things. Out of curiosity, what is it he thinks is so bad about the act? Well, this is getting far-fetched, and I suppose I'm the one lying to the country. Don't answer that. I'm sorry, but I have to deal with this kind of accusation day in and day out. I guess it's an occupational necessity. No, and I don't suppose you will. The Union Act is a force for good, Mr. Miller, a force for peace and also ownership of our country. Is it going to please everybody? No, but in all honesty, what could? The protesters out there are chasing an impossible dream and they're lining up in droves to blame everyone else for its shortcomings. But let me ask you this. You've been here all morning. Do you think we're the bad guys? Exactly. And I can't think of anything that would. Listening to Alex talk must have been convincing, I'm sure, but when you're confronted with the overwhelming evidence here at the facility, well, I'm just glad you get to see things firsthand. Well, you still have time. The courtyard is quite beautiful this time of year. You'll have to take a break at some point. I hope you have a more productive afternoon. I really do. Is that what he said? That his keycard was stolen? Well, I don't think there's any way I could confirm or deny that for you, Mr. Miller. I'm not even sure what that would have to do with me. I don't believe it was stolen, so it would be futile for me to try and answer that. We were all responsible for our own key cards and security logins. Actual keys aren't used in this part of the building. It's all very cutting edge, so anything like that would have been solely down to Alex. That just seems like conjecture to me, Mr. Miller. It sounds far too convenient to say that he logged it as stolen on the day that it happened. If that's true, then where did he log it? At what time? Wouldn't security know about that? I'm sorry, but it's all a little too convenient for me. I wish I could do more. I really do, but unless you have a point, then I can't help you with that. I really don't understand that man's mind. He's hell-bent on dragging this company's name through the mud. Out of curiosity, what was his evidence? And I suppose I hid that from the police, did I? Well, like you said, there's no evidence at all. Thank you for your honesty, at least. Did I? A few things around here probably still use keys. It's outdated if you ask me. You won't find anything in the facility that uses them, though. Our security protocol won't allow them. But I think the older areas still have the old-fashioned key and lock. No? Marlon Thornton, the cleaner, he's the only person who uses them for stock rooms and locker rooms, you know. Oh, that reminds me. If you're over at the Meta Centre later, you should take a look at the old Victorian baths. They're going to be knocked down soon, so you should take a look there before you go. No? They're just quite nice. I tell you what, I'll ask Marlon to open them up for you later on. If he's got time, then they'll be open for you when you go and have your meeting with Chance Crow. Anyway, a vendetta against him? Well, that was blunt, but honestly, I'm not surprised. I wondered if you'd bring this up. It's rather troubling, but Alex and I never seemed to get on. And on the night of the attack, he threatened me. I didn't want to make this publicly personal, but it looks like he has anyway. Yes, he left me a voice message. He was very angry about something, and he took it out on me that night. I have no doubts in my mind that that man is guilty of everything they say he did. And I'm frankly amazed that anyone would stand up for him. No offence. That's an understatement. He had a temper on him. It was getting to the point where everyone could see it, and I suppose I was just an easy target for him. I don't think he liked the idea of me being his boss for some reason or another, so... Anyway, the rest is history. I hope that at least some of this is useful for your book. I really do. Okay, Mr. Miller, that's all I've got time for, I'm afraid. Can you please see yourself out?
Hi, I'm home.
Because we don't want our hands tied by the law every time we have to make a decision. Yeah. But we won't be long. Just remember one. The world is changing around us. I agree. I have no idea why you're still wearing the same clothes you were wearing in the 70s. I'm not going to change your mind on this, am I?
Molly, you'd better be in bed when I get up there.
Coop, will you talk some sense into your husband, please?
Well, I'm staying out of this one.
Right. On that note, I'll see myself out.
You and Carol still here for Sunday dinner?
Don't forget to pass that folder on to Sarah in the morning, okay?
Wouldn't miss it.